welcome Gabriel Pasquin, Jorge Barón from Adara Ventures, Gerard Valverde from Aditio, Joao Diaz from Armelar, Estíbaliz Arenzana from Vizcaya Startup Bay, Ignacio Muñoz from Cepsa, Petricas Feiferas from Contrarian Ventures, Antonio Castellanos de Toro from Enel Innovation Hub Europe, Conrado Gallardo from Ferrovial, Ningyen Lal from Ecos Capital, Wanjiru Chaveda from Joint Capital, Borja Santos from K-Fund, Javier Juste from Mecides, Adriana Freitas from Muster Ventures, Noé Meana from Sacir Agua, Marie Champagne from SAP, and Pablo Pedrejón from Seaya Ventures, Andrés Escribano from Telefónica, and last but not least, Tomás Olu from White Pig Partners. Big applause to our judges, please. Thank you very much. I'm starting to feel like a rapper or something like that. Next time, team, I need some kind of like beat behind it so I can do it nicely. So the first block of the morning, it's Industry 5.0. I find it very interesting. Last year was Industry 4.0. This year is 5.0. So we keep adding numbers every year. So expect 10.0 at one point. So we're going to be talking about production models and the use of technology for the different companies, different industries to be more competitive, but most importantly, to create positive impact on society. Now, this is a mishmash of a lot of different verticals, including robotics, energy efficiency, agriculture, mining, power generation, and more or less any kind of service or product that is aimed at heavy industry. So, without further ado, startups, are we ready? Judges, are we ready? Wonderful audience, are we ready? Yes? Okay. So we're flying all the way to the United Kingdom, and we're going to be talking about one of those senses that makes us decide if you want to hook up with someone or not. One of those senses that push you apart from certain things or attracts you to certain things. Something that very rarely has been digitalized, which is the sense of smell. So to tell you about how we do that and what are the advantages for this, please welcome our first startup, all the way from the UK, Ali Rohabza, CEO of Alter Carbon.
Okay. Why do we wait for fires to happen before we do anything? For our food to be wasted? For late diagnosis? Chemical scents signal costly industrial problems, but current methods are not effective. Human senses lack sensitivity, dogs' noses need constant training, and lab equipment is just costly. The fact that this technology sits inside of a lab or inside of a dog's nose and not in your smartphones today is a technology gap we are trying to fill. We are shrinking mass spectrometry lab equipment onto a microchip. Just think of microphones in the 50s compared to MEMS microphones in every smartphone today, enabled apps like Shazam to build song recognition. We're building scent recognition. We've built receptors on a chip that act like your nose, and an AI platform used to train and remember information just like the brain. Our sensor is 100 times more sensitive than traditional sensors, solid-state rugged, ultra-low power, low deployment cost, AI trainable and tunable by anyone, and we're building a scent library to go along with it. The first target market is the fresh food industry, where we're reducing the 6.4 billion lost annually just in the UK between storage and packing. Our solution is to provide better information to extend shelf life and reduce the waste that happens. Our sensors can detect problems 10 days earlier than other methods, like machine vision, and we can reduce this loss by up to 20% and charge 10% of their savings. In the future, we're going to expand into health wearables and mobile devices. Our main revenue streams are development licensing, deployment licensing, and partnerships. Our first target clients are IoT solution providers and system integrators, where they'll use our AI-powered tools to build solutions more cost-effectively and bring products to market faster. Other technologies can't compete. There's single gas sensors, there's lab equipment, and there's digital noses. But we're cost-effective, AI-driven, passive, and solid state, and we have a patent-protected solution. Our team has over 30 years of combined experience in sensors and AI, and we've built an amazing executive team around us to support us getting there. And we've built some incredible partnerships to validate our technology. We are raising £1 million for a 24-month runway where we'll fully launch our product, and we'll release 200 units to 30 B2B clients and secure more patents. We have a validated technology, a UK patent, attracted early customers, won multiple awards. You're investing in the next sense for all mobile devices. Thank you. Thank you. Oh yeah, questions. I forgot about that.
So, judges, questions for Ali, please. There we go.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Isn't it, for the fruit industry, as you mentioned, isn't it much a great challenge for you to train the model to understand the smell that might be
coming off of it?
Something wrong, instead of using just like a computer vision, much easier to train to identify those problems early on?
So computer vision can only see what's on the surface, where we can detect the scents coming off of it, so we can detect it much earlier. So our training methods are, we're already working with a potato company in the UK who has this massive problem. They lose half of their crop sometimes, and we are putting sensors inside their basically crates, and each crate, so they know which one to send to store first to sell and to make more money. So we do it by sense over a training period, and the training period is actually less amount of data than what machine vision needs. Thank you very much.
Okay. Big applause for Ali. Thank you very much. Over there. I keep insisting, Ali, Match.com, more than industry. You'll make more money there, tell you that. Anyway, so we're flying to Spain, and we're going to manufacturing challenges. And one of those frictions that have happened between technology and manufacturing has been the advent of 3D printing, right? And we've seen 3D printing growing and maturing in the past few years. However, in the industry, there's still this idea of like, oh, no, but 3D printing is just for plastic little toys, you know, for geeks that are printing Star Wars images and stuff like that. Well, the reality is that 3D printing in the industrial environment is becoming extremely critical. But one of the critical issues is, how do you transform the materials, any material, into a 3D printing material, a material that you can then 3D print? And that is not easy to solve. And precisely to tell us about how they've resolved this challenge, we have our next startup. So please welcome, give a big applause to Ana Fernandez, co-founder of Coldfeet4Print.
Well, hello everyone. I'm going to start the presentation with 3 questions, but don't worry, because 2 of them I'm going to answer by myself. The last one I hope that you can answer in the end of the talk. So basically, imagine one 3D component, one 3D part, whatever. You think that right now we can design it? Well, the answer is yes. Actually, we can design it using only the digitalization and also the artificial intelligence. We can design and optimize whatever structure. The second question is that we can use this design and we can make anywhere, we can design in any place. The answer is again yes, but the answer now is related to additive manufacturing. Now, together with additive manufacturing and the 3D printing, we can design even in the space. But the last question is that right now, we can do any design, but we can make of any type of material. Well, here the answer is not so easy. Why? Because the feedstock, the raw material, the materials in general, is the most challenging point of the additive manufacturing technology. And here is where Coldfeet enters in the scene. Basically, we develop material and we make this material printable with one specific additive manufacturing technology, which is the melting extrusion. The melting extrusion is quite famous because you can find it in almost every sector, like in the hospital, like in the industry, like even in the food sector. So we develop a new process, to process the material, a process that is already patented, and a process that is quite scalable. Also, with always in mind ecological commitment. Oops. Sorry. So with this process, we can enter in the global 3D printing market right now, but directly from the real beginning. So we develop the material, we develop the raw material. That allows us to know, to have a specific knowledge about the material, and then we can enter directly to some specific sectors. That could be, for example, the biomedical sector, the energy sector, or even the food. So, of course, we have competitors, but the problem is that these competitors produce materials, but massive. We are the only one that are able to customize the material and to develop in a scalable process. So, related to our business strategy, we have developed a business strategy that born in 2020 with our foundation, more focused in the B2B, B2C, and in developing different projects, like private and also public. Right now, also, we are focused in the development of a printing service that is rising our company. So we expect for 2025 to have our revenues around 800,000 euros with the support of the private and public projects. But also, if we can rise the more technological needs, the more technological sector that we are writing right now, we can even rise this amount to 2 million. So, and this is not possible without our team. Yeah, sorry.
Big applause for Anna. Sorry about that. Okay, judges, do we have any questions? Questions for materials, advanced materials? No. There we go.
Hi. I think you were cut off, but can you tell us a little bit more on the go-to-market strategy for the first few years? Your go-to-market strategy for the first few years?
For the?
First few years. ¿Cómo quieres atacar el mercado los primeros años?
In the first year, well, we haven't attacked the market in the first year directly with the commercialization of filament, because filament is the typical material that you use for FFF technology. So we sell filament and also granules. Right now, we are also developing different private and public projects. We have 3 public projects right now. And now we are starting with the printing, because the printing allows us to enter in like more specialized market, like in the biomedical market, for example, with regenerative solution. So this is like our lines in the future. Well, in the present and the future.
Yeah, okay. Well, big applause to Anna. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you, judges. And now we're flying all the way to Italy, and we're going to be talking about, let's say, the excesses that we've incurred while building a lot of our cities, right? For many years, we just built anything, put all these AC machines there, leave the windows open. You know, if you work in an office, you always have someone that is too hot or someone that is too cold, right? So there's plenty of inefficiencies in all the buildings that we mean putting out there. Now, tide is changing. And so far, we've digitalized, we are trying to measure, which is the first step. If you cannot measure, you cannot fix it. However, most people are staying there. Now, what we're going to hear now is the next step, the evolution. How do we do a 360 solution that not just measures, but also automates the lowering of this energy usage in the buildings? Basically, decarbonizing all the buildings that we have from scratch. So please, to listen to how we do this, please welcome our next speaker, Giuseppe Giordano, CEO of Enerbrain. Big applause for Giuseppe.
Thank you, Alex. It's a pleasure to be here. Are you aware that over a third of the world energy usage and almost 40% of the carbon emission are due to our buildings? This is specifically challenging because the challenge with energy transition is how to convert all of this building stock that is existing. And what we aim to do in Enerbrain is to bring the current buildings to be more sustainable, more comfortable, and be able to make them work together in energy communities. We started as a team of 4 in 2015. We grew to a team of 60. We are currently managing 600 buildings in 15 countries. And what we develop for our customer is truly like a 4-step journey. We start from energy consultancy, so we gather data to do energy intelligence for them. And then we move to energy monitoring, where we are able to capture electricity, water, and gas, and as well as environmental monitoring to deliver our core service, which is heating, ventilation, and air conditioning efficiency. In order to do this, we developed an IoT platform that is including environmental sensor and energy monitoring devices through which we capture existing metering. All of this information is sent to the cloud, and from there, we use artificial intelligence to develop a predictive model of a building that is able to look in advance. This information is not limited to analytics, but it's sent back to the system through actuators. And all of this data is basically realized in a closed-loop system that you can think about it as a supervisor on top of the existing system. There are many reasons why customers choose Enerbrain, from reducing complaints to having ESG data for carbon reporting, as well as reducing energy bill from anywhere over 20%. This is a landmark project that allows you to understand the scale of this technology. We were able to install Enerbrain in over 90 buildings over 4 weeks. The impact of this installation is being equal to doubling the city trees of the town of Torino. And this technology is delivered both through partners, channels such as energy service companies or energy utilities. With them, we work specifically towards the government and the public sector, or directly through retailers and industrial sector. One of the most important projects today is the decarbonization of 100 factories worldwide. So we're currently fundraising now at the end of the month. If you want to join us, please come talk to me.
There you go. Big applause to Giuseppe. Grazie. Judges, question for Giuseppe. There we go.
Hello, thank you. What percentage, more or less, is your revenue split between hardware, software, and consulting?
So today we have a model with CapEx and OpEx. So today, on average, 2/3 of our revenues of 8 million come from CapEx, so one-time project where we get paid for the engineering and the hardware. And then 1/3 of that, 2.5 million, comes from recurring revenues. And we are doubling the recurring revenues every year.
Okay, good. Big applause for Giuseppe. Thank you, judges. And let me tell you a very, very short story. Many years ago, I used to work at a radar company, and we did the designs and the manufacturing of our electronics. And anyone that has done electronics eventually tells you, yeah, you know, you have to shield your things. And if you've never done electronics, you go like, shield what? Like, it just works. And then you run your electronics and it doesn't work. And it starts getting errors. And you go like, what's going on? And then someone comes with a foil of aluminum and it goes like, you need to shield it. And they place the aluminum on top of the electronics. And you go like, seriously? This is how advanced our tech is right now? Now, this same situation, when you scale the system, makes it even worse. One case scenario, electrical vehicles, where you have a big machine, big magnets that create electromagnetic interference, and you need to shield it. Well, what we're going to hear today now, in a second, is how can we improve this with a much more scalable and advanced material to shield electromagnetic interference in any kind of large-scale device. And to talk about that, I want to welcome our next speaker. So please give a big applause to Alexander Luking, founder and special project manager at FiberCode.
Our world is getting more and more connected. Our mobile phones, our laptops, our Wi-Fis, even our cars are connected to each other. Have you known that those electronic devices are really sensitive to electromagnetic interferences? They need shielding, otherwise your self-driving car will cause an accident. However, due to high prices, today's materials are not suitable for shielding mass market application. And this market is huge. $100 billion and growing for the mentioned applications and even beyond. We came up with a new shielding material, a glass fiber, coated with metals. And we do so by adding our coating device to existing fiber manufacturing processes. We process our material at 1,500 meters per minute, which is one of the fastest production processes in the world. We significantly reduce the process steps, the production time, and the energy consumption. And this allows us to sell our material for 10 up to 20 times lower price than our competitors. This disruptive change opens the mass market for shielding. Fibers are platform material. You can use chopped short fibers for injection molding, but also soft and flexible textiles, but also stiff and strong composites. And we do so with our partners and with our customers. Our business model is to license our technology and to enable fiber manufacturer all over the world, shown by all those little dots on the map. This leads to low capex, on-demand production, and supplier independency. We are located in Aachen, Germany, and have production plants in Eastern Germany, in Poland, and in Georgia. And with your help, maybe also in Spain in the future. Our customers buying our novel materials and our revenue projection comes from their minimum needs, with an estimation of 10 million revenue next year. We started with the 3 founders. However, in the past 2 years, we have grown to over 30 people with 15 different cultural backgrounds, which we are really proud of. We are here as we are seeking for new partners. And we start to plan fundraising for our Series B in August. So join us for the next huge step. Gracias.
That was fast. Judges, questions for Alex, please. Fragen bitte.
Just how can you replace the existing manufacturing, I think, uses aluminium. How can you replace it? Because you mentioned that it was pretty easy to replace the current production methods, but if the material changes?
That's a good question, because the material doesn't change. This is aluminum. This is the same aluminum the industry already knows, and which is certified in the processes. So they like the material because it's the same, but flexible.
Okay. Another question, judges? Very fast one? No? Well, then I'll let Alex go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dankeschön, Alex. Tschüss. And now we're flying back to Spain, and we're going to be talking, of course, about food. Yesterday, I was talking about the situation with the food industry, how wasteful the food industry is. It's one of the most wasteful value chains that we have. And thankfully, there's an increasing number of startups that are trying to use that waste somehow, right? Some people are using it for energy. Other people, like our next startup, is using it to transform it into next generation ingredients. So that way, we kind of reuse those materials, we lower the carbon footprint of the new food that we're producing, and they're very advanced materials that allow us to do things like new textures, new flavors, stabilizers, and stuff like that. So please welcome our next startup. Big applause to Bosco Emparanza, CEO of Moa Foodtech.
Hello, everyone. Today's food industry is the most contaminating industry. It causes 30% of the global GHG emissions. And did you know that 70% of the carbon footprint of food producers comes from the ingredient that they are using? So this is why we need to change how we are producing food through scalable and sustainable ingredients. In Moa, we have built a global, a sustainable, and a scalable solution. We are a B2B sustainable ingredient platform. We combine biotechnology with a computational tool called Albatros to transform waste and byproducts from the food industry into high-value ingredients that we introduce again in the industry and in the society. And these are our first ingredients. These ingredients are nutritional, functional, tasty, and sustainable. And one of the best things of our platform is that we are able to produce ingredients that are not novel food. We are okay to use these ingredients right now in the European market, US, and Singapore. And also one of the best things is that they are clean label. They are only labeled as yeast. And thanks to all of this, we are applying these ingredients into many different applications, like meat analogs, fish analogs, dairy, pet, or even pet food. Thanks to this, we have 17 pilot projects with key leaders of the industry at a global level and already 11 LOIs signed to purchase our ingredients. And we are generating a lot of traction. We already have over 100 companies that want to work with us, but right now we are working with companies that in both sides of the chain. In the byproducts valorization at the beginning with companies like Barilla, AB Sugar, or Tyvek, and also at the end, including these ingredients into final applications like Angulas Aguinaga, Nestlé, also Barilla or Sigma. And the market opportunity is huge, and the moment is right now. The protein alternative market is expected to grow exponentially in the coming decades. Our business model is to design, produce, and commercialize these kind of ingredients. But we are also working with leaders of the ingredient producers to develop new ingredients through our platform. Because thanks to our platform, we are able to reduce up to 90% the cost and the time of the development of a new ingredient. We are a great team. We have experts in the food application side, in the fermentation side, in artificial intelligence, and also finance. And thank you, and let's build a better world together.
We still had 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Judges, questions, please. There we go.
Hi, congratulations. Can you tell us more about Albatros and the role it plays in your company and, the platform itself?
Okay, great question. So Albatros is based in our microbes, the microbes that we are using. We have a library of over 300 microbes. But to use Albatros, what we do is we sequence the genome of our microbes, and we build with that the metabolic models. Then we have built Albatros, which is right now a predictive tool. It's going to be intelligent in 2024. And that's how we are using, thanks to the metabolic models that we are building and we are validating in our lab.
Okay, thank you. Big applause to Bosco. Thank you very much for joining. And now we're staying in Spain, but going down deep into the realm of nanoparticles. And I'm a big fan of deep tech. We were just talking about how sometimes it's hard to perceive the value of things that you cannot see or touch, right? If we have software, if we have hardware, you kind of touch it. But if we're talking about nanoparticles, then everyone was like, Well, however, nanoparticles are one of the most advanced, or let's say one of the most innovative aspects of new materials, of advanced materials, right? And a lot of these nanoparticles are used to coat surfaces in different industries, from aerospace, for example, for aircraft, for rockets, all the way to energy, to the blades of windmills, to different parts of the energy production supply chain. Now, how you get those nanoparticles to do what you want them to do? Sometimes it's absorbing radiation. Other times it's becoming fireproof. Depends on what you need. Requires a very, very technical, detailed process to achieve that. Well, not everyone is capable of doing that. But today, I'm going to introduce you the one person that's actually rocking that space worldwide. So please welcome our next speaker, Daniel Gonzalez, CEO of Nanostein.
Hi everyone. Nanotechnology, the art of manipulate matter at a very, very small level to improve the properties of materials. And thanks to nanotechnology, we have better screens for TV and smartphones, more efficient solar cell, or even new medicines and drugs. But nanotechnology has some limitation. There are a lot of companies that synthesize nanoparticles and nanomaterials, but normally they use chemical methods, and it entails a series of limitations because there are impurities in the surface of nanoparticles, the generation of waste, and it's difficult to control the particle size. So this is why in Nanostein we present a new methodology, unique in the world, for the synthesis of nanoparticles with very high purity, controlling the particle size with a lot of precision, and without generating any residue in the process. Until now, we have applied this technology in the aerospace sector for ultra pure coatings, in the energy sector to improve the efficiency of solar cell or to enhance the activity of electrodes. And this technology, it's possible to use it in the development of more sensitive sensors. And finally, it's possible to use this technology in the nanomedicine sector too. Well, nanotechnology market is huge. There are a lot of different companies that synthesize and sell nanoparticles, like Merck, Nanocomposites, and this is why in NanoSteam we are very focused in applications that require high add-value nanoparticles. Our business model is very simple. We sell nanostructures and nanoparticles by surface coating or dispersing liquid, and we also have the consultant service for the development of customized nanoparticles. NanoSteam teams is made up of multidisciplinary profiles with a strong background in physics, chemistry, nanotechnology, and we also have other profiles with a lot of experience in startup growth, business development, and investment. We are a young startup. We started to grow last year, 2022, and so far we have raised 500,000 euros by public financing and 300,000 euros in our first investment round. And right now we are working with big companies and very important institutions in aerospace, energy, and sensor sectors. And we hope in the next 2 years we'll be able to start commercializing our technology in the nanomedicine sector. And just to finish, you have to know that we are a company with a very powerful tool that works with a small solution with big application in technology. And we are very interested in contacting companies that require this kind of solution to develop pilot, proof of concept, and to collaborate with us. So thank you very much for your attention, and we hope we can talk during the Congress. Thank you.
Big applause. Thank you, Daniel. Questions?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great presentation. I wanted to ask you about how far are you from distribution. So you mentioned that you are targeting high value clients, and I was wondering if you already identify a vertical or a niche where you think you're going to get your first clients, and which one is it, and what's the use case?
Yes. Until now, we have a small client like Research Institute, but right now, for example, we are working with Acciona in the development of biosensors to detect bacteria in desalination plants, and we are working with the European Space Agency too in coatings for satellites, and with companies like Sener Aerospace, Airbus, and we are working on it to try to be the idea is that NanoSteam be the suppliers of these big companies for coatings for different pieces.
Good, convinced? Big applause to Daniel. Thank you very much. Mark my words, we will hear more about them. I have a good smell for this. These are companies that go under the radar and then go like boom. Anyhow, speaking of the needs that we have in the industry, data is a big need. I was recently preparing a class on data-driven organizations, and I was going through what I was going to say, and I'm like, oh my God, it's so hard for an organization, especially the bigger the worse, to understand all the data sources that they're getting and where they are, how to get them together, how to normalize the data, and then use it to make data-driven decisions. And then on top of this, we have the IoT revolution, we have edge computing, we have 5G. And it's like, how do you go to a company and you actually tell them, okay, you now need to deploy all these sensors, all this edge computing, and then how do you manage that? Well, to talk about how to actually manage all that complexity that happens when you deploy and you increase your data footprint massively, we have our next startup. So please welcome Christopher Gellen, CEO and co-founder of Neutron. Big applause.
The fourth industrial revolution was all about automation and productivity. Industry 5.0, it's about connecting humans and machines closer together. to enhance human capabilities rather than replacing them. Now, you might believe that investing more in these technologies goes against human centricity, right? But the reality is that tools like AI, AR, VR, IoT are actually helping us and will help us have more resilient factories, make boring work a thing of the past, and reduce our carbon footprint. And companies are taking note. The global enterprise IoT market will grow 20% every year to reach $500 billion by 2030. But the question is, how will we be able to reliably connect all these intelligent devices when everyone will be competing for the same connections? And the answer to that is decentralization. Same as blockchain decentralized currency, technologies like 5G and edge computing are decentralizing data processing, so it can happen in real time at the source of the data. And we at Neutrune help companies achieve exactly this. Our cloud SaaS platform acts as an operating system to unify 5G, edge computing, and all the needed infrastructure. So all these IoT devices can connect to the right application in a more intelligent, reliable, and affordable way. We sell to network operators like telcos and system integrators who then resell our SaaS to the end customers in verticals like ports, factories, and warehouses. And we are one of the few companies in the world working at combining 5G and edge computing, but in a much more open and seamless way. Since launching 2.5 years ago, we have raised more than $1 million. We have been awarded $1.5 million in R&D funds, and we have been selected by top US accelerators. And guess what? We have already booked more than $1 million in revenues. Big corporations are already trusting us to deal with this rising complexity. And for that, we're raising a $4 million round with $1 million already committed by a US strategic investor. We'll use these funds to expand into the US, and we'll reach 5 million ARR by 2025.
Come on, Chris.
This is our team. If you're interested, come talk to us after the presentation. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah.
What happened with the timer?
Yeah, it stopped. We're fixing. But I was keeping time. Okay. Question for Chris, please. Judges. Come on, this half always asks. I don't know what's with this side of the judges. Yesterday was the same. It seems the shade protects you. Come on, this side. Any question for Chris? No? Yes? No? There you go. It must be that chair. That chair gives superpowers. Seriously.
I have a question. Thanks for the presentation. Regarding, so you mentioned 5G private networks. What is the use case of those, more or less, the 1 million bookings that you have? What is the key use case? It's industrial that want to prioritize data, for instance, robotics data on top of others. What is exactly that they are solving with your solution?
No, there are many use cases. It's really about, reliability in connectivity for use cases like, data streaming, like videos, and also, connecting the AGVs inside a factory. I mean, those are the main use cases that we currently see, okay? It's really about intelligent moving pieces inside a factory, for example. Those are the main use cases. Yeah.
Yes, good. Big applause for Chris. Congratulations on those amazing numbers. Now we're staying here in Spain, and it's funny, we were listening before about the sense of smell, right? And about how we deploy smell, for example, to take care of like food quality. When you go and open your fridge and you have a piece of food and it looks funny, right? And you go like, it's been here in the fridge for a while, right? And then you kind of smell the thing and you go like, it actually smells funny too. And then there's always the person who will go like, but we still can eat it, right? Don't eat it. By the way, don't eat it. But there's other things where that's not as clear cut, right? If you have a yogurt where you don't really see what's inside and you go like, as my wife always say, yogurt never goes bad. Like you can eat it. I'm sure that's not the case. Now, we still have this issue of not knowing what's the quality of the food we're eating. Now, our next startup precisely is going to show us how to solve that issue. And I'm not going to tell you anything more because it's pretty wow and I want you to enjoy it. So please welcome our next startup. Big applause to Luis Gimeno, founder and COO of Oscillum.
So, good morning, everyone. My name is Luis, and I'm one of the founders of Ostilum, a biotechnology company enabling you to understand your food. This that I have here is a piece of meat. It doesn't smell really bad, but the smell is neither good. Would you be able to tell me if it's good or bad? No. Most likely, most of us here will do the next thing. Throw it away. So food waste is caused mainly by the lack of information that we have about our food. The problem here is that it doesn't only affect consumers, it also affects our customers. Food producers and retailers that due to this lack of information throw away food, they lose market opportunities, and they have extra costs due to the food alerts that they could not detect on time. But we have come to a solution. This is a smart label that once placed in direct contact with the product, changes its color to indicate the status of the product based on its quality, freshness, and safety. With this technology, we can solve all of these issues previously mentioned. We can actually reduce the cost related to the food waste, while we can increase profitability and quality control. Before proceeding, I would like to apply our technology to a piece of meat to show you what will be happening later. So we sell this technology in a B2B model directly to companies. So these are some of the companies with whom we are talking. We are working already with some of them. We have 10 commercial agreements. We have 6 pilots. And we are also having 3 partnership agreements to enter into different markets in Europe, America, and also Asia. But the main idea that I wanted to remain here is that Ostilum does not sell labels. Ostilum sells information. And information is very valuable for every industry, such as cosmetics, where understanding the real expiry date of those products are very interesting, or pharma industry, where understanding the degradation of the active principle could save billions of lives. This wouldn't be possible without the team behind, in which we complement different experience in the technical, commercial, and operations field, and also we also come with an advisory board with extended experience in the agri-food sector. Now, let's go back to the technology. As you can see, the label changed to blue, indicating that the food is not safe for its consumption. This is basically how it works. But this does not end here. In Ostilum, we aim to generate impact, and we have that in our DNA. That's why we can generate impact in the social area, reducing the food poisonings and promoting donations. Environmentally, we can also reduce the emissions directly related to the food waste. And of course, in the economical side, we can also generate impact, helping household and the industry to reduce cost, improving profitability, but also something very important is that we can actually enable a better food safety system in developing countries thanks to the low cost of our technology compared to the alternative ones. And we are here today because with your help, we can turn our vision into a reality and make of our technology a new standard, one that is more reliable, easy to use, and accessible to all. Thank you very much.
Cool. That's really cool. That is,
you can take it.
That is, no, I'm not sure I want it. Question for Luis, please.
Hello, thank you and congratulations. I wanted to know from the 6 pilots that you are running today, if you have any outcomes to share with us.
Yes, we have been running pilots in the different stages. First, we wanted to understand how is the implementation of our technology in the current facilities, and we can actually use machinery existing in those. But also, we have already running business cases. So with our technology, for example, preventing the spoilage of food waste, we can actually, including the cost of our technology, increase the revenues in around 4.5 million euros per year. And also...
Short.
Sorry?
Short. I'm going to get another. Good. We have another. Very quick, please.
Thanks for the presentation. Mine's just regarding the accuracy. So what is like the false positive rate of this? How do you measure that?
Yes, we use actually a chemical approach, which has already very low, let's say, false negative, false positive. But we are also including let's say, a safety range of around 10. So, which basically what it means is when it started to turn into blue, it's still not in the position to turn any intoxication. So we are using this range to try to prevent mainly the false positive.
Done. You got it.
Sorry.
Big applause for Luis, please. Thank you very much. Thank you, judges. And speaking of, we've been talking a lot during the South Summit also about energy efficiency, how to make things more efficient, how to reduce CO2. Now, while most of the people will think about cars, your buildings and stuff like that, but there's certain industries that is really, 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 really hard to decarbonize. Like things like steel, like things like any kind of boiler that boils water, that does a chemical process with boiling, that requires heat for the chemical reactions or the material reactions to happen. Now, precisely to talk about what are the first steps on solving this, on starting to reduce the CO2 footprint with a hybrid approach between solar and carbon-based energy sources, please welcome our next startup. Big applause to Miguel Frasquet, CEO of Solatom.
So, hi everyone. Again, my name is Miguel Frasquet, and CEO and co-founder of Solatom. Solatom is a solar company helping factories to decarbonize the energy demand. But we are not going for the electricity demand like most renewable solutions out there. We are focused in the high temperature steam. And we do it because although steam represents the largest energy demand for most factories, the high temperature needed makes very, very difficult to use renewables. Solatom combines a system, a concentrated solar field, that actually connects to the existing boiler to inject steam and to use thermal energy, solar thermal energy, to reduce up to 50% fossil fuel consumption. Our hybrid boiler can combine both solar energy and fossil fuel at the same time, can run only on solar energy, and can run only on fossil fuel. It's basically like a hybrid car, but with boilers. And we do everything without changing the existing boiler in the factory. When we do it simple and we do it fast. Our patented design is using pre-assembled modules that we connect like Lego bricks, and once they are deployed, we are actually producing steam that we connect with the existing boiler, reducing the time that the fossil burner of the existing boiler in the factory is in operation, as you can see here. Unlike current solutions, Solatom combines both a renewable energy source, 100% renewable energy source, with the capacity of produce high temperature steam. We sell the system using a PPA model in which we put the equipment and then we sell the steam to the factories. Since 2017, we have been scaling the size of our projects, and we went from projects as small as 26 square meters to over 6,000 square meters, like in our current project, that we are actually constructing for Heineken with a 2.5 million budget. The team combines a deep technology background with expertise in project finance in energy projects and more than 15 years experience in design and operation on industrial equipment. We also have the support of key investors in the energy market like Enagás. But what truly defines us, what truly sets us apart is our capacity to execute. In only 6 years, we went from building in my family's garage to building in a significantly larger garage, to be in rooftop in industrial companies. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Miguel.
Yeah,
okay, judges, questions for Miguel, please. He wowed you, right?
Yeah.
See, I'm telling you, those two chairs have magic.
Again, great presentation. So you mentioned that you're going for existing factories or new factories. So what is the actual challenge of onboarding this solution? Is it better when they have already something and they already something up and running, or are you better targeting new factories when they are building?
What we do, I mean, the system goes into existing boilers. So, I mean, you can go for a new boiler, and you can actually have the boiler fully prepared for a hybrid boiler. Or you can go, and most of the companies, what you go is with an existing boiler, because they already have an existing boiler using fossil fuels. And what we do is hybridize this boiler using the concentrated solar field. So we deploy the concentrated solar field, we inject the steam into the boiler, and then we reduce the time this burner of the conventional boiler is in operation, reducing that way the fossil fuel consumption.
Good. Big applause for Miguel, please.
Okay,
Thank you very much for joining. And now we're sticking with energy, but we're flying to Denmark to talk about a very, very large topic, also related to energy-intensive and heat-intensive industries, which is how do you recover that heat that you're putting into these industries? So this idea of like heat recovery and then turning it into energy is a very, very large one. However, still not that super well developed, and it can get better with a lot of innovation. And if you get to a point where your materials and the way the designs that you use to harvest this heat energy and transform it into energy become so good, well, then it's not just about harvesting energy in heat-intensive areas, but then you can use this to deploy, for example, sensors anywhere without any connectivity to the grid, because there will be energy independent. So to talk about this magic, please welcome the last startup of our blog. Big applause to Jörg Redder, Director for Sales and Product Management at TechMat.
Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you're still with me, because I'm the final one, because I bring you the next big thing, and that is thermal energy harvesting as introduced in the industrial scale. Thermal energy harvesting has not only the potential to collect like waste heat and recover waste heat, but it's actually also, as mentioned before, able to actually give you power where you need it for sensors. And that brings us into the IoT market. And yeah, we actually cracked the code on how to bring it to the industrial level by looking into the design, into the material, and also to bring it into applications that are relevant for IoT, and that makes us bring us to a market that is significantly larger than only the TEG market itself. So what is the challenge with current TEG technology? That is, material is not sustainable, it's toxic, it's rare earth, that makes it very expensive, and because of that you don't have really examples in industry, and that is also the problem, that if you don't have the chicken, you don't get the egg, or vice versa. So what we did is we changed the design. We made a flexible TEG, which is much easier to implement. We changed the materials, so our materials are 100% sustainable, they are non-toxic, and the production cost is a factor 20 less than what the current material has. That brings us also to a low-cost design, because we use standard electronic processes. And we can actually build large-scale TEGs that you can simply stick on a wall and harvest the energy from a boiler or whatever else. In parallel to the development of the material, we also launched 2 products that took us actually 6 months from idea to launch. One is a hot pipe alert used in the industry to alert service people from hot areas, from hot pipes, avoiding burns. The other one is a power supply for IoT devices. So you simply replace the battery, you don't need cables for the installation, you don't need battery maintenance, so you have an absolutely low cost, zero cost operational device, your sensor in your industrial environment. The market is not big for TEGs, but we believe due to the wireless sensor network market and also the recovery network, we will gain actually the market or increase the market. We will actually disrupt the TEG market with the technology we have. There are competitors, but they are actually mostly on the application side. So this is good for us because they spread the news that thermal energy harvesting is an option for sensors. We sit in the center more or less because we also supply the material, so the product itself. So all these competitors on the application market will be our customers. We have just started last year with this development, so we are still in the minus, but we're going to the plus pretty quickly by the products, but actually mainly in the end by the TEG product, the generator. And this is our team. We are senior people in all levels, so I'm pretty sure we can make it. Thank you.
Thank you, George.
That was a quick one.
Okay, judges. Last startup, last questions. Come on. Heat managers, energy. We have a lot of people from energy. Open your mouth, ask questions. There we go.
There's one.
I wanted to understand a bit more your revenue stream.
Yeah. Yeah, the revenue stream is, as I said, currently we have 2 products which we are selling already. The hot pipe alert, which is the main one. The development of the TEG itself is not finalized, so we have that first at the end of the year, I guess. So we are using standard TEG material for the current products. But the main revenue will come from the TEG itself later on, because this is the protected part. The others can be copied by everybody. Everybody can build a sensor or a power supply when they have the knowledge. The IP or the material and the design of the TEG is not copied. That is protected. So that will be our cash cow in the long run, serving all the customers that are using then the technology.
Okay, perfect. Then big applause for George.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.